what makes a successful band to you guys?
If I'm happy with what I've come up with, people like what I'm doing and people want me to continue doing it.
For me, success would be setting a goal and achieving it.
What are some of those goals for you? Do you set benchmarks for yourself as a band?
Absolutely. Like I've learned, like one of the biggest lessons I've learned is baby steps. We're almost on our first album, and that's taken pretty much since we started working on this project 3 years. So that's the biggest one.
You know, we released this record and played our first show in March. We're now like shooting to try to do bigger shows, better shows, festival shows.
How important is local success to you? How important is it to sell out the backstage?
I think it's totally important. Having your people down, having support from not only friends, family, but kind of randoms who are just walking by, like, this is my city and I'm proud to be part of it.
To me, it seems as though, like, you know, if you want to have success in other places, you need to have support from home. You need to have a place where people love you.
Have you guys toured yet?
I mean, we've done like little things on the island and stuff, but
How important do you think touring is to a band's success?
huge.
We just did a Western Canada tour in June, and now we're going to do a cross Canada tour in March. Touring to me is a funny thing because if you tour Canada in the summer, you can get some pretty dismal shows. But you can get some great shows. You can play in small towns for like 5 people, but everybody buys a disc, and then everybody like Facebooks you and messages you and stays in contact. And then you can play in Calgary or some big town at a great bar with a good guarantee to like 120, 200 people, and nobody cares. The thing about touring is, no matter what, you did it. You know, whether your tour is a success, whether you sold 1 million discs or not, if you did it, you did it. And that puts you in a different ball game.
She snapped my cabin, put my cufflinks on, in a glass of her boudoir.
So how important is social media success to you?
I think it's totally important nowadays. Having followers, maybe even on Twitter or MySpace, but I think in the end it still comes down to the band.
I'm beautiful in my way, got me on this face. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way.
How do you measure success with social media? You know, which is really difficult when you're just sort of throwing out tweets or whatever. And, is anybody reading this? You know?
Yeah.
Maybe a month ago now, we were in the Shore Song Search. There's a fellow there talking about that, and it really resonated with me. What he was talking about is that, like, it's impressions. It's like, you know, people see, the purpose of all these things is that people see your name, they see what you're doing.
In a time when this industry is so tight and so tough, you know, it's like you got to use every resource you can.
You work a full-time
job, yeah.
Jeez, yeah. So when you get home, ratio of time you spend between the work you do on trying to get your band somewhere and just cutting your teeth as a musician, what would that
I
ratio
would say
be?
it would be way more cutting teeth as a musician at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To give you like an estimate, maybe 70-30.
Of the time I spent working on the band, I probably spent 75% of that time working on emails, contacts, Facebook updates, website updates, all that kind of stuff, you know, and stuff that I, you know, really don't want to do. But at the end of the day, if you don't have like a product, if your product isn't good, then you can make a huge like viral presence that looks amazing, and then someone goes, oh, look at these guys, like, I'm hearing about them everywhere, and then they click the song and they go, wow, this is terrible, and then all of a sudden that's over.
Do you buy into any of these formulas for success? Like, you have to be in the right place at the right time. You got to do 10,000 hours.
I definitely believe in right place at the right time,
Do you?
but if you're in the right place at the right time, you still have to kill it.
As a person who was like, you know, sort of tried to make a career out of playing guitar, you know, we're in a time when people, you know, don't really go to see much live music in that way anymore. Like, you go down to the Granville Strip and, you know, some guy can, you know, DJ for a night and charge $70 for a ticket, you know, but a band that's worked like, you know, 40 hours a week, you know, for the last 3 years to try to get this going, you know, can get 10 people in a room.
You got to cut loose, don't let your body quit. Hey.
People still want to go out and see a good show. Like, I don't think that's ever gonna die.
Don't let your body grip. You got to play. I said,
The strike of a guitar, or like people singing together, that will always strike a chord with people. You know, like one thing that my uncle said to me one time when I was, you know, like having a moment of insecurity about trying to make money in this industry. You know, sometimes you're like, man, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. It's a real struggle. And he just said to me, you know what, John, if you do what you love, the money will come.
If you're an awesome band, you have great grooves, people enjoy what you're doing, they shake their butt, like, that's all that really matters.
Blair Hammond on the vocals. He even did his horn part on the vocals. What a guy. What a guy.